Hello everybody and welcome to my video today. I'm sorry if my camera is a little shaky. It will stop shaking in just 1 minute. Welcome to my Project Life Thursday video, and I am back in my Project Life album, and I want to share a process that I go through that helps me stay first of all, it helps me stay feeling creative in my album, and then it also helps me stay caught up. Whenever you're doing a project that is ongoing, this is a family album that I do January through December. I do one every single year, and mine are caught up. Like, I have been doing this since 2005. And I have albums for every year. They're not behind because I have found a system that works for me to stay motivated, to stay creative, and to stay caught up. Now, when I say caught up, it doesn't mean that I'm completely done with everything. I don't like that term, caught up, because if I'm caught up, it means I can't scrapbook. And if I have nothing to scrapbook and I'm all caught up, then I don't get to have fun and play with my stuff. So I never want to be caught up, but I do want to feel not stressed about the place that I'm at. So I feel like caught up enough. So for me, that means that for my Project Life album, I am currently in May. So for our family album that I do, I have everything done through May with the exception of my journaling for April, and I just have to get that done. So May and June are not complete. There's nothing done in here, and I want to get that set up and ready to go. I need to order my May photos, and we're currently in the month of June, so I order my photos at the end of the month, beginning of the following month. So technically I don't have anything for June. Like, I can't do anything for June. I don't have photos for June. I will need to order photos for May. So I want to share that with you. And then in my membership group, my memory keeping community, one of the things that we did this week, or that I shared this week, is I have this container. You saw this in my craft room series, my cleanup, and then in my where I went and I showed my grand tour of the entire room. You saw this container, and this is my Project Life current container. It's the things that I'm currently working on in memory keeping that are like my smaller projects. So for instance, I have this container here, and I have some things in it, and it's a specific layout, and I have a sticky note on it, and it's like I need to print photos and do that with it. And then I have my monthly kit. So right here is my May kit that I'll be using in May, and you will see that. But what so I cleaned this out. So one of the videos that I shared in my membership group is I went through this, I cleaned this out, I figured out what was in here that I really wanted to work on and what I needed to do. And then I filtered all the product that I was done using into all of my other organizational systems in my room. And then this bin is now nice and clean, organized, ready for me to dive in to current memory keeping projects. So one of the things that I wanted to do, and that I shared with them, and they've seen a little bit of a version of what I'm about to share with you, is for June, when I was going through and putting my stuff away for June, I was like, oh, I know that I want to use these products for June, and I want to pull some products that will coordinate with it so I can set up June. Okay, so that's what I want to show you. I want to show you taking some product. So this is an Ali Edwards Story by the Month kit, and I want to show you how I pull product from my stash to coordinate with this. Okay, so we're going to do that. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to back up a little bit, and I want to talk about the way I put together my Project Life album. In the past, what I have done is I've set up several months in advance. So in the past, I would have like May, June, and July all set up with foundation pages, and then I would just go in, add my photos, add a little bit of product, do my embellishing, and then I would do my journaling, and then it would be complete. I'm not doing as much in advance right now because I'm currently using Ali Edwards story kits, and we only get those every single month, and they are a month ahead. So like last month I got July, And then this month I will get August. So they're about a month ahead. And so I don't necessarily have the product to see if I'm going to want to use it. And I don't always use it in my album. If I'm not inspired by it, if I don't like it, I don't use it. So in like the case of April, I didn't like the kit for April. So I just pulled out my own product and I made April what I wanted. But in, let's see, in March, I used all of the products for March in my March layouts. So I'm not doing foundation pages, but those can be really helpful when you're doing, you know, sometimes maybe you don't have a lot of time or you're feeling creative, but you don't have your photos yet. So you can take those opportunities to set up your album in advance and, have things ready to be able to put together. So for my family album, for my Project Life album, years ago when I started my Project Life album, my goal was to use like a core kit for the whole year. Like I just thought I'll use one core kit, I'll just do the entire year. However, for me, I really like doing my album like by season, like seasonally. Like in January, I like to be using things that are more winter. In, you know, November and the fall, I like to be using things that are like more fall related. And so I found I was getting really bored with just using one set of product for the whole album. So then I was like, okay, well, every page I do, I'll do differently. That didn't last. That was crazy. That was crazy talk. So like every single page I would do, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do like all different product. Well, that was too time consuming. That's like basically doing traditional layouts every time you do, you know, a layout. And the entire reason I like doing Project Life is it's not as time consuming. Or it doesn't need to be as time consuming as a traditional layout. So then the solution that I came up with was to every month do something different. So in the month of February, I did this XO. I used the theme kit from Ali Edwards. I did red and black and I loved it. And then when we turn to March, through all the crazy weather. Okay, so when we turned to March, then I was able to change it up and do something totally different. So in March, I did more of a spring theme, like my colors are brighter, they're more, you know, like this pastel kind of colors and flowers, and it very much goes with the season of you know, like it's transitioning into like warmer weather. And then like in April, I did a whole different set of product, right? So that is the way that I keep things creative for myself, and I get to use all of my things. I get to use all of my paper, all of the product that I already have. I get to use it. And then it's fresh every single month for me, and I don't get bored with it. But also it's not complicated. Like I'm not trying to, like, every single page is different. I don't stamp on every single page, but I have elements, right? So for the month of May, I have not set up the month of May yet, because I'm skipping ahead to June, because when I saw my June kit, I wanted to share with you how I add extra product to be able to set up my weeks and my months. So I do Project Life by the month, which means I use a design A and a design A, and then these pages have the random everyday photos. So there's nothing necessarily special or coordinating with the photos I put on the front and the back, the start and the end of the month. They're just photos. The moon, Andrew doing art, our fireplace that we were still using in the month of April, which was crazy, a sunset. In the car, you know, driving, at the table, you know, just different everyday snapshots. Everything in between those two page protectors are anything extra that I want to focus on. In February, it was a lot of weather related stuff, really big storms we were having, snow we got at our house. In March, I did a outside spread of some things that were happening outside. I did a spread of my office and reorganizing my office and cleaning it. So any story that I want to focus on, that I want to stand out, goes in the middle of the page. And then everything for that month coordinates. So I use coordinating product for that whole month, and then I get to use things in my stash, and I get to use kits. And then I also am a very matchy kind of person. So I like my stuff to match, and so I also have that ability to match it. So I get Ali Edwards Story by the Month kits, and let me show you what came in this kit, and then I'm going to show you the items I pulled from my stash to help with June, and then I will set up June in this album. But just so you know, I will be going back and doing May. So the videos will be a little bit out of order here because we'll jump back and do May. So the first thing that comes is this piece of like pattern paper. That's what I'm gonna call it. It is a little bit larger than 3x8, and I think that people a lot of times will use this in the 6x8 albums outside of the page protector, so it doesn't really fit a page protector. I don't really use this often, but I have it. I keep it in my stash. The next thing that comes in the kit is a stamp set. It's the monthly stamp set. This kit came with 2 sticker sheets. These are circle stickers in these colors. And then the chipboard, which I leave in the plastic because they come out of the, they pop out very easily. And then we have the 4x6 cards and the 3x4 cards. So this is the card that inspired this theme for the month of June. Then I have this card, another circle card, the June 3 things, which is something I've been using every month, and I've been doing that. I love that. Moments to Remember, another one, and then a like filler card, and then another place to journal. So this is what inspired June. And what I did is I pulled out, the first thing I did is I pulled out some pattern paper and then some solid cardstock. So these were all items that were in my stash. Normally I would pull out 8.5 by 11 cardstock, but I didn't have any in this color because this color is retired from Stampin' Up, so I don't have any 8.5 by 11 of this color on hand. So I just pulled out some 12 by 12. I probably will only need one 12 by 12 piece. I'll put the other one back. And then these are some pieces that I had in my stash. These are all Stampin' Up pieces, and they're double-sided, and it is really old Stampin' Up paper. Stampin' Up used to do their basic color family pieces in 12 by 12. They don't do that anymore. They do it in 6 by 6. So this is really old paper. And I can pretty much tell you the colors. Like this is Mint Macaroon. I think this is Lost Lagoon, which just came back as a color. This is Poppy Parade, and I think that this must be Petal Pink maybe, and they're double-sided. So I have these colors, and literally they're just the colors that coordinate with the cards. I pulled the cards out and pulled colors that matched these cards. The only color I did not pull to go with this is this blue, and I probably would pull Balmy Blue. That is probably the color that would best match this. But the rest of this, it matches really well. So here's the thing. I actually thought that I had saved, if you have followed Stampin' Up or followed me, you know that a few years back, Stampin' Up had some peach paper. I know I still have the stamp set in my stash. I kept the stamp set and the die. And we might use that. I might break that out and use that for June. It might be fun. But I thought I had saved some pattern paper. I remember the pattern paper very well, and I remember thinking it'd be great for a summer spread, and I went to my stash to look for it and I could not find it. I've updated my pattern paper in the last couple years. I went through it, purged it, updated it, sold a bunch of it, and then I just did the big purge and clean this spring, and so I must have gotten rid of it at some point. I looked through all my 12 by 12, all of my 6 by 6, and I was like a little bit devastated that I could not find it. But that's okay. What I decided to do is I did want a little bit more pattern than just this. So what I did is I went to Etsy and I just typed in peach scrapbook paper, and I found one that I liked that coordinated with some of the colors that I had. I printed some out. I printed on basic white Stampin' Up cardstock. It is 80 pound. It will go through your printer fine. I use the rear slot on my printer so it doesn't go up over the roller, and it prints better. You can put it up through a roller on your printer. It may get paper jammed. Sometimes mine does when I roll it. So I've learned just to feed it and it works better. It's 80 pounds, so it's thicker than printer paper, but it's not as thick as like thick cardstock. So that's really nice. So I just found a couple patterns that I liked and printed it out so that it would coordinate with this. And then you can see on this one, the great thing about doing digital items where you can print it out yourself is I did one that the print is larger and then the print is smaller. So I just printed those out so I would have a little something extra. Like I said, I still have the stamp set and the dies, and I might use those as well. I could create my own pattern paper if I wanted. And then I also will probably pull out some embellishments like enamel dots or those kinds of things that can coordinate with this. And then we're gonna set up the month of June. So let's get to that. Let's set up the month of June. It's kind of weird for me to not have May set up yet. I usually work in chronological order, but that's okay. We're gonna skip May, we're gonna pretend like it's done, and we are gonna get to setting up June. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start setting up the month of June. As I said before, I really do like doing foundation pages and having things set up in advance. I think it makes the process go a lot quicker. And because I am waiting basically each month to use Ali Edward items, I don't set up as far in advance. But for many years, I would set up 3 or 4 months in advance, and I always enjoyed that, particularly when the kids were smaller and it was a little bit harder or I had more photos. So the first thing I want to do is add some pattern paper to my calendar. So I'm going to trim off a little bit of the calendar. The calendar is an 8.5 by 11 calendar. This is the question that I seem to get so much. Where do I find my calendars? There are so many different places that you can just find calendars to print out. This particular calendar that I have, I did purchase on Etsy. It was less than $4. I just went to Etsy, typed in 2023 printable calendars, and I purchased this one. I actually found this one on Pinterest, and that's why I ended up purchasing it, because when I was in the process of looking for a calendar, I saw that one, and it ended up being the one I really wanted. But you can just do a Google search for free printable 2023 calendars, and you will find a whole bunch. It just takes a little bit of time to go to Google and spend the time looking. I would normally link the ones I have, but again, this one was from Etsy, so I'm not going to link it for free, but because it's not free, you have to pay for it. So then I'm just trimming out the pattern paper that I printed. So I'm trimming off those white pieces, and then I'm going to use this pattern here in the middle of the design A. So I'm going to use these in the 3x4. And you can see I'm just laying things out. That's what I do first. And then I will add my items into the pockets once I get everything sorted. I will end up not using this and that card, and you will see that I do something different with that, and I use the stamp. I am trying to get better about using my stamps in the pages. A lot of times I just get in a hurry and then I don't stop to do that. And then I really love that Loving in June card, and so I don't know if I will use that all together as a 4x6 card or if I will cut out the circles and use them. Again, I don't have any photos for June. We're still in the middle of June, so I don't know what's going to coordinate. I don't know how my photos are necessarily going to look or flow through June, and that's really not what I'm focused on. I'm really just focused on setting up the main items for this month, and then once I have my photos, then that's when I will figure out how everything flows. I don't even at this point know what other photos I will be focusing on. A lot of times I will focus on some like funner events or bigger events or events that I have more photos of. Probably one of them will be Father's Day. We went out for Father's Day and I have a lot of photos for that. We're also working on a summer puzzle. We've started summer officially in our house. The kids are out of school. So there'll probably be some larger stories like that. And I will still use the peach paper. Everything that will be in June will coordinate. I will use this coordinating product. So I'm just laying out my chipboard and doing a few things here. And then I am trying to decide about that 3x4 card. And then once I get everything in the correct spot that I want it in, then I will attach everything and slip it into the pockets. All right, things are quite messy, but let me just share with you what I've done. So I really like this card, and it says this and that, and then it has 1, 2, 3, but I don't like the blue on there. I just have not pulled in a lot of that really bright blue, so I didn't want to use that. If you get the digital kit, you can recolor it, but I'm just not going to go through that. So I'll just put this in my stash to use at another time. And I went ahead and took the cardstock and made this card using the stamp set, this and that. And then I pulled in some of this darker blue, which, like I said, I think is Lost Lagoon, because this piece over here is that darker blue. And I have some of that on there. So I thought that that would be nice to have a little bit of that color on this side. So let me show you how June looks. Oh, and then I also took some little circle dots that I had that say 1 and 2. And then instead of doing 3, this and that, I will just do 2. I'll do 1 and 2. And I made sure that the font didn't match, like I mismatched the font just for fun. So I have my title card up here that says Bring on the New Chapter in the peach design that was actually from the card. And then I have this piece of pattern paper, which is polka dots, and then I added 1 piece of a much bigger story right here. And I'm thinking I might actually attach a photo right there. I have my 3 things from June, and I will do my journaling there. I have summer vibes, so I put the chipboard over this, which was a pattern piece that I printed out. It's this piece right here. So I just used that. Then I have the this and that card that I made. I put in my pattern piece for June, and I attached my calendar. I'll do the stamping on my calendar. The great thing is that this divider that I have does have a bit of that brighter blue. So that is a little bit nice. We'll put that here. I like my divider there. And then we have June. And then on here, I have that pink piece right here. I have Moments to Remember, another pattern piece. And then on here, I did the same thing where I wrapped some twine and used that chipboard. And then any other stories that I have for the month of June. We're still in the middle of June, so I don't really know what I will have. I have some of this extra stuff, and I will leave this tucked in to June, and then I'll go back and I will do May since I skipped over May. So I'll just leave this tucked in here for the month of June. And I can use these items for any extra stories I have. I will even go ahead and leave these items in here, the embellishments, the stickers, just circles. I may end up using this at another, like for an insert, and then I'll have the stamp set. So that will be my setup for June. You can see photos on my website. And then let me know if you have any questions about setting up your months like this. It's super helpful for me, or always has been super helpful, to be able to do it a little bit in advance and to only focus on one style or one pattern or one theme for the month and then move on to the next month and change it up. This is also the last month in this album. So my album will go January through June, and then I will start a brand new album for July through December. I will do another like semi title page. I will be sharing that, and then I will also share what May ends up looking like. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today for my Project Life Thursday video, and I will catch you in my next video, and I hope you have a great day. If you are interested in seeing more memory keeping videos, you can always join my membership, Life Simply Documented. There are 2 other videos here on the screen that you can check out. If you're brand new to my channel, you can hit that subscribe button or just that like button so I know you like these kinds of videos, and I will catch you in my very next video next week.